The Essential Rumi, Chapter 3, Emptiness and Silence, The Night Air. The reed flute song. Listen to the story told by the reed of being separated. Since I was cut off from the reed bed, I have made this crying sound. Anyone apart from someone he loves understands what I say. Anyone pulled from a source longs to go back. At any gathering I am there, mingling in the laughing and grieving. A friend to each, but few will hear the secrets hidden within the notes. No ears for that. Body flowing out of spirit, spirit up from body. No concealing that mixing. But it's not given us to see the soul. The reed flute is fire, not wind. Be that empty. Hear the love fire tangled in the reed notes as bewilderment melts into wine. The reed is a friend to all who wants the fabric torn and drawn away. The reed is hurt and self-combining. Intimacy and longing for intimacy, one song. A disastrous surrender and a fine love together. The one who secretly hears this is senseless. A tongue has one customer, the ear. A sugarcane flute has such effect because it was able to make sugar in the reed bed. The sound it makes is for everyone. Days full of wanting, let them go by without worrying what they do. Stay where you are inside such a pure, hollow note. Every thirst gets satisfied except that of these fish, the mystics, who swim in a vast ocean of grace, still somehow longing for it. No one lives in that without being nourished every day. But if someone doesn't want to hear the song of the reed flute, it's best to cut the conversation short, say goodbye, and leave. A thirsty fish. I don't get tired of you. Don't grow weary of being compassionate toward me. All this first equipment must surely be tired of me. The water jar, the water carrier. I have a thirsty fish in me that can never find enough of what it's thirsty for. Show me the way to the ocean. Break these half measures, these small containers. All this fantasy and grief. Let my house be drowned in the wave that rose last night out of the courtyard, hidden in the center of my chest. Joseph fell like the moon into my well. The harvest I expected was washed away, but no matter what. A fire has risen above my tombstone hat. I don't want learning or dignity or respectability. I want this music and this dawn and the warmth of your cheek against mine. The grief armies assemble, but I'm not going with them. This is how it always is when I finish a poem. A greater silence overcomes me. And I wonder why I ever thought to use language. Enough words? How does a part of the world leave the world? How can wetness leave water? Don't try to put out a fire by throwing on more fire. Don't wash a wound with blood. No matter how fast you run, your shadow more than keeps up. Sometimes it's in front. Only full overhead sun diminishes your shadow. But that shadow has been serving you. What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle. Your boundaries are your quest. I can explain this, but it would break the glass cover on your heart, and there's no fixing that. You must have shadow and light source both. Listen and lay your head under the tree of awe. When from that tree feathers and wings sprout on you, be quieter than a dove. Don't open your mouth for even a coo. When a frog slips into the water, the snakes cannot get it. Then the frog climbs back out and croaks, and the snake moves towards him again. Even if the frog learned to hiss, still the snake would hear through the hiss the information he needed, the frog voice underneath. But if the frog could be completely silent, then the snake would go back to sleeping and the frog could reach the barley. The soul lives there in the silent breath. And that grain of barley is such that when you put it in the ground, it grows. Are these enough words, or shall I squeeze more juice from this? Who am I, my friend? This world which is made of our love for emptiness. Praise the emptiness that blanks out existence. Existence? This place made from our love for that emptiness. Yet somehow comes emptiness, and this existence goes. Praise to that happening over and over. For years I pulled my own existence out of emptiness. Then one swoop, one swing of the arm, that work is over. Free of who I was, free of presence, free of dangerous fear, hope, free of mountainous wanting. The here and now mountain is a tiny piece of a straw blown off into the emptiness. These words I'm saying so much begin to lose meaning. Existence, emptiness, mountain, straw. Words and what they tried to say swept out the window, down the slant of the roof. Quietness. Inside this new love, die. Your way begins on the other side. Become the sky. Take an axe to the prison wall. Escape. Walk out like someone suddenly born into color. Do it now. You're covered with thick cloud. Slide out the side. Die and be quiet. Quietness is the sure sign that you have died. Your old life was frantic, running from silence. The speechless full moon comes out now. Sanai. Someone says Sanai is dead. No small thing to say. He was not bits of husk, or a paddle that freezes overnight, or a comb that cracks when you use it, or a pot crushed open on the ground. He was fine power in a rough clay dish. He knew what both worlds were, a grain of barley. One he slung down, the other up. The inner soul, that presence of which most know nothing, about which poets are so ambiguous, he married that one to the beloved. His pure gold wine pours on thick wine dregs. They mix and rise and separate again to meet down the road. dear friend from Margas, who lived in Ravi, in Ram, Kurd from the mountains, each of us returns home. Silk must not be compared with striped canvas. Be quiet and clear now, like the final touch points of calligraphy. Your name has been erased from the roaring volume of speech. A just finishing candle. A candle is made to become entirely flame. In that annihilating moment it has no shadow. It is nothing but a tongue of light, describing a refuge. Look at this just finished candle stub, at someone who is finally safe from virtue and vice, the pride and the shame we claim from those.